Hello people and welcome to the second episode of the Takeover broadcast on British Wrestling Radio. I am one of your co-hosts, Webby. I am with Ross.
I am the other co-host, the It Factor. And tonight on the show, we're going to be joined by Future Pro Wrestling co-founder Steve H.D. Evans. And also we're going to be talking about Kenta joining, or reportedly signing for WWE, and the NXT releases that have just been announced.
So where do you want to start? We've got plenty to talk about.
Yeah, just a bit. We can talk about Kenta joining WWE potentially. Has that actually been confirmed yet?
Not sure if it's confirmed, but I'm pretty sure it's true. That it's happened. I mean, a couple months ago he had that trial at the arena, the training center. Sorry.
Yeah.
So I could see it as pretty much has happened.
So I was going to say, what do I think about that? What do you make of it? Yeah.
Personally, I don't like it. Not because whenever WWE seem to got any Japanese talent, or even someone that's gone big in the Japan circuit, they've just come to the WWE and just been pretty much ruined. Take Tensai for instance. He was great in New Japan Pro Wrestling and with Carl Anderson as a tag team, and then WWE bring him back and they do nothing with him. They build him up to be this big guy,
and then they
for
put
a couple of months. Exactly. I just don't think WWE really knows how to use them. I mean, look at in the past you've had Tajiri. In the end, he just pretty much become a gimmicky sort of wrestler. Funaki, the same thing. Takumi Kanoku, the same thing. I just don't feel like they know how to handle Japanese talent. I don't know. What do you think of it?
Well, one thing I was going to ask you is, do you think it hurts potential careers, when they leave WWE? Do you think it hurts their chances of getting signed by, and being taken seriously by other companies?
I don't think so. If anything, I think most if someone leaves the WWE, most companies look at it like they need to get this guy onto their show because it's going to pull in the crowd.
Mm.
These, they've been watching this guy, and then he's been released, and now he's gone to say some little Midwest show, and it's gonna get the crowd in. Like with any company, you got the big name talent that brings it in, and then hopefully their actual roster keeps them coming back sort of thing. So I don't think it really does affect them.
I mean, interesting you say about guys coming over, because there's that old argument of, are there too many guys coming over, and is it killing British wrestling? Or is it killing indie wrestling in general?
To be honest, I don't feel like it is. I mean, since getting back into British wrestling in end of last year, I've been to a couple of shows now, and even though I've gone to a show for the imports, per se, it's been it's been the other wrestlers that have kept me wanting to go back. Like after watching like Mark Andrews, that guy is just amazing, man. And at Speed King and Risky Business this past week, his matches with AR Fox and Will Ospreay, incredible matches. As much as I want to boo Will Ospreay, but he has got some. Will Ospreay has got some talent. Such a good up and coming wrestler at the moment. And of course, I got him at Kaylee Ray. That was good.
Yes, the selfie queen.
Yep. Well, I didn't have any friends to take a picture for me, so we had to do a selfie instead.
But no, talking of Will Ospreay, he's just been signed. Just been signed to appear in Germany. I'm not sure which company it's for, but
WXW maybe.
I'll have to double check that actually. But no, I've seen that he has been signed to appear.
Okay. Talking of WXW, they announced today that Tommy End will defend his Unified World Championship against Chris Hero, who won their 16 karat gold tournament. I think that match will be a great match to watch.
I've seen, I completely agree, because I've seen him a few times, but you've got two major names there, and yeah, it's going to be one to look out for.
Definitely be a great match to see.
So that's the WXW Tommy End versus. I mean, we're actually seeing Sumerian Death Squad on Sunday, aren't we? At ICW.
Yeah, they just got announced this week against the New Age Clique for the tag team titles.
That'd be a great match.
Yeah, I mean, Samir and Death Squad. As soon as I saw them and Tommy End, I was like, this tag team's it. This is my sort of tag team. Their finisher is, I swear down, their finisher is, I would say, my favourite tag team finisher.
Yeah, see, I didn't actually get to watch that because I had to leave the show early, didn't I? In Stevenage.
Yeah. Do you know what their finisher is?
I think you have told me, but I've forgotten it. So
basically, Tommy End lifts him up into a suplex, into his brainbuster sort of thing, and then Michael Dante runs at Tommy End, and Tommy End chucks the guy off his shoulders. Michael Dante catches him and power slams him to the ground. And once I saw Robbie X get hit by that, he looked like he was in pain. Definitely winded. I mean, he had to be carried out. Well, helped out.
yeah.
So yeah, that'll be good if we see it on Sunday. You'll like that. You'll like it. And Jack Jester versus Jimmy Havoc got announced in it as well. For the ICW heavyweight title and a street fight.
London street fight. That's going to be interesting to say the least.
Well, from what I've seen of ICW, they're it's going to be passe chaos.
Yeah, it could end up anywhere. even the pin could even happen in a red phone box.
If that happened, that would be awesome. That's like the best writing I've ever heard in my life. Getting pinned in a red phone box.
Sorry.
But what else is announced? You also got Grado versus Say Samuels. That'll be good. East.
Number one heel, I think.
What, Shay Samuel?
Yeah.
Yeah. What else? Kaylee.
One of, anyway.
Well, he's brought the is it the cartel into Rev Pro now, so that'll be
Him and Terry Fraser.
and Mike Scroll.
Yeah.
They're going against Defending the Wrestling next Saturday, 10th of May.
Which is the team of Pete Dunne, Mark Andrews, and who's the third member?
Your guess is as good as mine.
Oh,
Sorry, Mark. Well, I finally got to see Pete Dunne, didn't I? At Speed King and Risky Business. No, at Speed King it was.
Yeah, what did you make of him?
I liked him. It was good.
Because I've heard a lot about him, but I've never actually had the chance to see him.
He impressed me. But the only thing that ruined that show for me is I got stuck behind the guys that were just cheering random shit. I was trying to watch a match that it was Katie Ray and Pete Dunne in the ring to start off with, yeah.
Yeah.
And we had the people on the right singing Kirby, give us a wave, give us a wave. And then you had the people behind me shouting something about Pete Dunne. I can't remember exactly what they were saying, but they were just shouting abuse at Pete Dunne. And AR Fox was reacting to it. And I'm like, guys, you're taking away, like, you should be watching Kaylee Ray and Pete Dunne, and you're just taking it away from the main action. And that kind of annoyed me.
It's like
I don't know what you think about, like, what do you call them? Is it called smarks, I guess you call them?
Yeah, I mean, there was one show, they just kept shouting the same thing. They just kept shouting, Haskins! And I was like, yes, he's already been on. So they just kept shouting for Mark Haskins. And I was like, yes, he's good, but that match is finished. So. But yeah, I've kind of like grown used to it now. But
I mean, you get it on like the WWE shows, but on WWE shows, it's sort of like I have seen this before. Yeah, especially when you get a match that you've seen like 4 or 5 times, and then listening to the crowd kind of takes you away from the environment because you're bored of watching the match. But at a live event, you've probably never seen these two wrestle before.
no.
And you're like forgetting that they're wrestling and just taking it away, which I think is a bit. Maybe it must be a bit like I've never been a wrestler or anything like that, but if you're in a ring and you're giving your all in a match, and then people are just outside shouting at the guys that are not doing anything, where you're trying to impress, that must be freaking annoying.
I mean, now I'm actually contemplating getting into like wrestling as a manager. That it does bug me more than it used to.
I mean, it's fair enough if you're doing it, like, if they're lying on the floor and nothing's happening, and then, like, the manager's doing something and you react to him, that's fine. But if they're actually trying to wrestle a match and you're taking away the attention from the match, I just feel that that's wrong.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Definitely. Completely agree. But now it's time for our special guest. Mr. Steve Evans. Yes, exactly. Mr. Steve Evans from Future Pro Wrestling.
Is he in yet?
Are you there?
No, it's connecting.
So yeah, while we're waiting for Steve Evans to come in, another match has been booked for Revolution Pro Wrestling. It's Will Ospreay against someone I've not actually seen before, Aerostar. Have you seen or heard of him?
No, I must admit.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to the Takeover Wrestling broadcast. Thanks for joining us tonight. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on the show tonight.
I think someone else is trying to dial me at the same time, so I'm going to ignore that one. Yeah, thank you. No problem. Thank you for having us. Sorry about the late substitution with Matt having a couple of wisdom teeth out today. Probably didn't help his cause.
We feel that pain.
So did he.
Well, yeah. So, starting off, how did Future Pro Wrestling, the whole thing, come about?
Okay. Story of it all really started was back in 2010 October time. I was on the way home from a show that I was involved in Luton, and I had the conversation with my partner on the way back and said, "There's not really a lot of wrestling that goes on in the South London area, which we live." And the next day, decided to give Matt and Lee a call and ask them to come around and sort of have a chat about a project that I wanted to start and I wanted them in on. Given the fact that we were old school friends, we were all massive wrestling fans as kids, and really it was our opportunity to start something in the local area and start with one sort of show and see how we got on, and we're now at the start of year 4, so I suppose from very very high.
Well, I've looked at your card for your 4th anniversary show, a 3rd anniversary show. Sorry.
Yep. Yeah.
Very good.
That's right.
Very good lineup. Very good. Well, you've for the past couple of months you've been having this tag team tournament, building up to the anniversary show.
That's right. It's been running for the last 12 months. So we've had started with 16 teams, and we're now down to the fatal 4-way for the decider for the championship itself.
Yeah, I've noticed that quite a few good teams have been eliminated, like Project Ego and Doug Williams, Johnny Storm.
Yep, definitely.
So who do you want to win? I say.
Yeah, I mean, you can't argue with the 4 teams that are left. Very, very strong teams. Charlie Garrett and Yeston Reeves, the Alpha Males, 2 absolute behemoths. Size-wise, fantastic agility, great, amazing charisma. They are the people that everybody wants to hate. The London Riots have sort of run havoc since coming onto the scene at the 1st anniversary show, and have built a massive head of steam and momentum since that day, and have gone on to achieve amazing things not only just at FPW but across the board in British wrestling. The Bangor Knights probably one of the strongest tag teams in the UK. I'd say probably one of the most underrated tag teams in the UK as well. RJ Singh, Darryl Allen, both amazing singles competitors, but together as a team they are fantastic. And then you can't ignore Will Ospreay and Paul Robinson, the Swords of Essex. So it really, whatever the outcome on the evening, it's plain and simple that there are 4 amazing teams battling out for the prestige of becoming the first ever FPW Tag Team Champions.
Yeah, and I know Ross is a big fan of the London Riots.
Definitely. They're my pick.
I think they've got a few people's picks for the titles as well. So, I've known both members of the Rights for a few years. I've trained with both members of the Rights, and outside of both Rob and James, outside of the ring, very nice guys, but inside the ring, will kick their teeth down your throat as soon as they come into the room.
Can't really argue with that, can you?
No. I tried, and you won't get anywhere with that.
So, in the 4 years, what's been your proudest moment?
Oh wow, so many really. I think one of the things for us was selling out the venue for the first time. I mean, we have an amazing venue that we use, and that's been the home of FPW for the last 3 years. And for us, having a sellout crowd there for the first time was a moment that I don't think any of us will ever forget. Colt Cabana becoming, the first sort of real big import that we had last year was a massive step in the right direction for ourselves. Showcasing the amazing British talent we've got. That Jimmy Havoc wrestled Colt on the night. Fantastic match. I think one of the proudest moments for me though was overcoming the adversity of what happened to us on the first anniversary show, and all the trials and tribulations that went along with that, and still being able to put on the show at 2 hours' notice. And I think that my team, Matt, Lee, and I, all the guys, all the fans that turned up. That really meant something to me that night personally, and it's something I'll never forget, and that's probably my proudest moment.
So, I know it's difficult to ask a promoter, but have you got a favourite match that you put on?
Again, I mean that's a tough call. It's hard for me to pick an actual a pivotal moment that I would say was the best match that we ever put on, because there's so many highlights. I mean, crowning the first champion for the first time is always going to be it's always going to be a great match, and Sir Thomas Chamberlain and Greg Burridge had an absolute fantastic match to decide where the title went. I enjoy our Rumble matches. A lot of promoters get a lot of stick for Rumble matches and how they're booked. Even the big US companies get a lot of stick for how their Rumble matches are booked. But this year's Rumble was a personal favourite of mine. Although I did spend the last 10 minutes of it with my ice pack on the back of my head after getting cleaned out with a chair as I was about to take my so but I think every match that we put on is always going to be a favourite match for me, because it's the guys that we entrust to make the fan. Every single match for me, a memorable one.
Okay. Mike, have you got any other questions?
Well, we were just talking about crowds at shows, and how, like, I went to the Southside Speed King show.
Yep, yeah, I was there as well.
And during the main event with the speaking title on the line, I thought that there was a lot of people, like Kaylee Ray and Pete Dunne were in the match, and loads of the fans were putting more attention on the people that weren't in the match, and I felt like that takes away what you should actually be watching.
No, I was there. I was there. So I'm going to slightly disagree. I think that the whole show, and I get on with Ben Ald, the promoter, and a fantastic British wrestling promoter, and he's certainly someone that I will be working closely with, to try and help British wrestling promoters work together in the future. It's something we're doing later on this year in October. We're going to be working closely together. I think the concept of the speaking tournament, with a 6-way elimination, you're always going to have things that are going on outside the ring at certain points in the match that may or may not detract from possibly what's going on in the ring. But what I would say is that the talent that was left in that ring for the final 6, a lot of people should take notice of, because they were amazing. I mean, it was the first time I've seen Robbie X work and was great. Will Ospreay's a stalwart for FPW now over the last couple of years. Martin Kirby's worked across pretty much every British promotion there is, and again, loads and loads of time for Martin. Fantastic performer. AR Fox, not somebody I've seen before, but was incredibly impressed. I've got to say though, fair play to Kaylee Ray. I mean, she was absolutely fantastic all the way through that match, and certainly someone that we'll be looking at bringing into FPW in the not too distant future.
Yeah, I have to agree. All the last 6 were incredible. That whole main event was one of my favourite matches I've ever seen live.
Yeah, I mean, that and Mark Haskins and Prince Devitt on the night as well was unbelievable. And as I said, we made the journey up from South London to Nottingham and back on the same day. And my absolute hats off to Ben Alden and the Southside team. His family work incredibly hard to make Southside into what it is, and that's the ethos that every single British wrestling promotion should have. Ourselves included, we have the same ethos at FPW. I know that Steve Fludder at PCW works incredibly hard as well. But there are other promotions, Progress, Lucha Britannia. I mean, it's a fantastic time for British wrestling, and to be a British wrestling fan. If you're not a British wrestling fan already, you should be, because the amount of talent that the UK has at this moment in time is unbelievable.
Yeah, I got back into British wrestling about a year ago, I'd say, and it's just blown my socks off at how good it is. Because I stopped watching it because I got a bit tired with it, but now it's just blowing my socks off how good it is.
There are some fantastic wrestling schools in the UK, and there are some fantastic trainers in the UK as well. There's a number of schools dotted all around. A couple of fantastic schools in London, the same in Essex. I know that there are a few up towards the Midlands as well, and the north of the country. So, when you're being trained by guys like Greg Burridge and Gary Vanderhorn at Lucha Britannia, some of the talent that's being turned out of that particular school at the moment is fantastic. And from our point of view, when we're looking for new talent and we're looking to give people opportunities, one of the first places I will always go to is down to the London School of Lucha Libre and sort of have a look at what Greg and Gary have gone down there.
So could you tell us a bit about the FPW Academy?
The FPW Academy, we never really got off the ground at that stage, because for me, there are some great schools out there at the moment, and to try and add another one to that wasn't going to work. We looked into it. We ran a couple of sessions, but for us now, it's about supporting the established schools that are there and being able to give some of the young British talent opportunities on our shows. As I said, I mean, coming through the London School of Lucha Libre. Most recently, you've had Disco Diablo, who is now a regular on the FPW shows. You've had Dragonita, who made her FPW debut, who trains at the London School of Lucha Libre. Will Ospreay has, been mentored by Gary Van der Horn and Greg Burridge through the London School of Lucha Libre. And when you've got, the talent like Will being put out into the public eye now, and I'm sure that you guys have been to shows where Will is. The guy's a fantastic talent. There's no taking away from what that guy can do in the ring. And if that sort of talent's coming through the system, they're in the right place to be trained by the right people, and that's the important thing. Always go to a place where you're going to be trained by the right people.
Right, so earlier we talked about your proudest moment. Have you got any funny moments that you can tell us about at shows?
Yeah, I think one of the funniest moments we've had was we had the Mexican Eagle have a tequila drinking contest with El Ligero, which to be honest was only going to end up going one way, and 1, 2, 3 floor was pretty much the way it went in that one. So I think there are some great comedy performers in the world of wrestling at the moment. I think none so more at the moment than Madman Manson and Grado. They're both very, very funny. I saw them have an amazing match, a very, very funny, uplifting moment at a show not that long ago. And those two guys are comedy gold, and luckily enough we've got Grado making his FPW appearance on May the 11th at Crowning Glory, so I can only imagine how that's going to go. I just hope he doesn't mince through the airport when I pick him up.
I was just going to say, what's it like trying to be the promoter of Grado?
I don't know yet. I'll ask me that question in a couple of weeks' time. I'll probably be able to give you an answer. I've had some fantastic, great conversations with Grado. The guy is mental, I think the word is. But I mean that in the best way. There's no doubt that he's got a hell of a lot of charisma, and he can back it up in the ring. So no doubt in my mind that in the coming years he's gonna improve his already a very much niche market that he has, and no doubt that go on to bigger and more amazing things in the world of Grado.
Okay, Mike, go on. Do you want to, you were just about to ask a question.
Was I?
Well, it's happening.
Sorry. I've seen that you got a Hardcore Holly coming to FPW soon.
Yeah, definitely. October 24th at the Westcroft Leisure Centre in Coshalton, which is about a mile down the road from where we normally run. For those who are looking geographically at where Coshalton is, it's about 2.5 miles from Croydon, which is the nearest main town. So reasonably well commutable for people coming in off and around the M25. It's not that far. So yeah, Hardcore Holly's been announced already. The Chavo Guerrero Jr. has been announced already as well, which is another massive ex-WWE TNA WCW star. So I'm going to cough for 1 second. And we've still got another couple of announcements to make. And again, as mentioned, this is something that we're working on. A couple of promoters sort of working together on this one. And bringing some big name guys back into the UK, and at our new venue as well for the first ever show. So tickets definitely will fly for this particular show.
Well, I only live in Raynham, so Dagenhamish area. So I think I'm gonna have to make the trip out to see this one.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's it's going to be an amazing show. I mean, obviously I'm not going to give too much away at this stage because there's a few more names to be announced, and then the show will start panning itself together. And but to say from what we've already looked at for this particular show, we've got a 700 seater venue. There's also room for 300 standing as well. So potentially 1,000 people watching what will be an absolutely amazing show, and tickets go on sale tomorrow via our website at 7 p.m.
Okay.
I've seen a lot about the FPW superfan Riley.
Yes.
How is he?
Riley's okay. It's always a touching moment when you have somebody in Riley's position who gives so much and wants to give so much to every single person who comes out, whether they're a good guy, whether they're a bad guy. Riley brightens up my day when I see him. We were fortunate enough to go and give a school talk at assembly about 12 months ago now at Riley's school, and myself, Matt Burden, and Greg Burridge went along to the school and talked to the school about healthy eating, about training that goes into doing what we do, about the amount of legwork that goes into what we do, about respect and anti-bullying and as I said, every time I see that that young man, he brings a smile to my face. Even when I see, I'm quite fortunate enough to live not that far from Riley, and on a few occasions I've seen him outside of, normal FPW sort of moments, and his smile just lightens up the day for me. And if I'm ever feeling, down or ever questioning anything to do with what I do, I look at a picture of him and what it means to him when he comes to our shows, and nothing else matters at that moment in time.
That's a very good thing you're doing for him. It's
That's the thing. When in a situation like that, British wrestling always manages to come together.
His family are one of the nicest families I've ever met, and from our point of view, they know that if they needed anything, nothing's too much of a bother for us guys as far as any of our fans, any of the people that turn up to our shows. With Riley, we always make sure all of us are there to sort of welcome him into the building, and are our FPW shows family friendly? Yes, they are, absolutely. It doesn't detract from the quality of the wrestlers that you have on the card, but it's the customer element and the customer interaction element between ourselves and the people that turn up to our show, which is something that we really do focus on, and we want everybody to go away knowing that they've been into our building, and that they want to come back to watch another show, and by doing that and by being as courteous as we can and as friendly as we can, that's what has brought people back over the last 3 years, and will continue to bring people back going forward.
Okay, Mike, have you got any other questions?
What's your opinions on getting British wrestling onto mainstream TV? Do you know
what? It's something that it's a question that a lot of people ask a lot of promoters, and the way I look at it is simply this: is that in the US, Vince is the money man, and he's made a success out of the business in the States by his marketing and how he gets the program over and onto the TV. Is the UK ready for British wrestling to be back on the mainstream stage? I'd say that there is that much talent out there that it could be pulled off, but it would have to be done in the right way, because if it wasn't, it would seriously affect the business for the other promoters. So it's no good just chucking something on there because we feel that we've got the talent. It's all got to be done in the right way, with the right backing, with the right venues, with the right crowds, with the right ethos. It can't just be thrown onto the telly and hope for the best. It has to be done in the right way, and I think that, to showcase the talent, BBC did a great job with ICW. Mark Dallas, has done an amazing job, and it really did show British wrestling in a good light. But a lot more needs to be done before we can put on a product that is going to get anywhere close to competing with the mainstream US stuff.
Okay.
So what are the plans for the future of Future Pro Wrestling?
I suppose for us, we've got things pretty much tied up for the rest of this year. We know what we're doing for the rest of this year and for the early part of next year. From there, I mean, it really does depend on how the shows go this year, as to what we're going to plan to do with regards to expansion for next year. There's a few things in the pipeline at the moment, which is a watch this space sort of thing happening. But we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got five more shows planned this year, plus a couple of outdoor events as well that we're doing in the local area to where we're based, again to raise awareness of sort of Future Pro Wrestling. So I'd say it's definitely a bright future, and as long as we keep doing what we're doing and do it well, there's no reason why 2015 isn't going to be another expansion year for what we do.
So if people want to find out more, how can they get in touch?
3 ways, probably easiest to get in touch. Follow us on Facebook, Future Pro Wrestling. Follow us on Twitter at FBWUK. Head over to the website, which is www.fbwuk.com, where you can read up on the latest news and goings on. Or if you really want to be nosy, send me an email.
Right, and also a question I've been asked from Dean Mitchell.
Yep.
How are the karaoke skills coming along?
I've given it up. I'll leave Matt to maintain the highest standard of Paolo-Nutiniism that he has. So Matt definitely can take care of the vocal side of what we do, and but that's once he's stopped bleeding from the mouth after he's had his teeth taken out.
Right, okay. Mike, have you got any final questions?
No, just thanks for coming on our show and being our first guest.
Yeah.
Thanks.
No problem at all. No worries. And just for anybody else who's interested, May 11th, Future Pro Wrestling Crowning Glory, FPW title on the line, Greg Burridge versus Sir Thomas Chamberlain, and we will crown the first ever FPW Tag Team Champions. So head over to fpwuk.com for ticket information.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for coming on.
No problem. Gentlemen, have a fantastic evening.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Cheers for your time. No problem.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.
So that was Mr. Steve Evans from Future Pro Wrestling.
And we'll be sure to share all of the stuff, all of his
Events and news.
events on the Takeover Facebook page.
Which is
www.facebook.com/takeover1.
So, in the last 15 minutes of the show, we were talking before Steve came on about Kenta being signed to WWE and other Japanese wrestlers that come to mind when it comes to people that WWE have dropped the ball with. So
I think we asked this question on the Takeover earlier, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
Most people said between Yoshitatsu and Ultimate Dragon, which I also said. Ultimate Dragon, they majorly dropped the ball on him. I remember him coming in, he had a couple of matches and then he just disappeared.
And there was a lot of hype as well because he's basically a Japanese legend. And it's just like, oh, okay, yeah, thanks for coming.
Yeah.
So who else?
If you really want to watch some Japanese wrestling, you've got Wrestling Dotaku on this weekend. It's got a pretty good lineup. You got Okada versus AJ Styles for the IWGP Heavyweight title. Your favourite, Royce and Daniel Gracie versus Nakamura and Sakuma. And then you got the elimination match. Bullet Club, Tonga, Fowl, Gallows and Anderson versus Liger, Nato, Maccabee and Tanahashi. And in my opinion, Bullet Club really have to win this match because after last week, they just kept losing. But
well, hopefully they'll have their leader AJ Styles in their corner to have a team talk before the match.
The match I'm actually surprised about is you got Kojima defending the NWA World Title against Wes Briscoe.
And I don't know, what are your thoughts on that?
I don't know. I don't think he got the exposure. I mean, he had a couple of matches and they weren't that great in TNA, but I don't know if that was because of the way they booked the Aces and Eights storyline, or if he actually is not that good. I'm pretty sure he's good because I've seen some of his matches and they were good. So I think it was just TNA booking, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's never a good idea, really, bringing a person straight into a company into like a massive faction, because they kind of get lost in the crowd, if you get what I mean.
Yeah, and especially with a group like Aces and Eights, where there was quite a few members went there, so it's difficult to showcase everyone.
And because because it was mainly like all around Bully Ray and all around, well, mainly Bully Ray,
Yeah.
and like Briscoe, Jarrett Bischoff. They were just like the interrupt the match and pull on interference and stuff like that. So, as I said like last week, I hate interference and ref bumps. And
It's right out of the Russo playbook.
yeah, fire Russo.
Just like for anyone who watched, was it Sacrifice?
Yes.
With the ending of I won't spoil anything, but the ending of the Bully Ray and Bobby Roode match.
Yeah, let's not talk about that.
No.
But talking about ref bumps, Evolve just announced that for their Evolve 29 and 30 shows, they are going back to the basics. So basically, if any interference happens, it will result in a fine and the suspension of the wrestler. And if there's any ref contact, it will result in a fine and a suspension for the wrestler. So hopefully we'll get back to the good old clean victories and not Russo stuff. Oh, and also Larry Dallas has been released from Evolve after he's coming out and bringing Teddy Hart. We won't mention the other guy. To beat everyone up. So he's now gone from Evolve, apparently.
Yeah, apparently. But we should all watch this space.
Yeah. Just to be honest, I wouldn't mind seeing Teddy Hart again. Just, I don't want him to come in and beat everyone up with a cat.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Sorry.
Yeah, well, I think it was the cat that beat most of them up. No, it's getting silly now.
Yeah, let's not talk about that anymore. No one is allowed to mention his cat on this show from now on. It's out.
Okay, last mention of it though. Didn't you ask AR Fox about it speaking?
Yeah, I did. I went up to him and I was watching the match and for a second I thought, oh, please don't bring Teddy Hart out with his cat. And even AR Fox went, yeah, nobody wants that.
See, Teddy Hart's cat is going worldwide.
Talking of worldwide, we forgot to talk about the news last week with Ring of Honor. About their, what I was talking about with you guys a couple of months ago, that now they're doing these live shows with New Japan, that they're fully going back to live pay-per-views, live pay-per-views, starting from the World 2014, which I believe is the end of June.
Yes, I believe you're right. So, yeah. So, has it been announced?
Yes, it's definite.
Right. Okay. That'd be a good.
Finally, Ring of Honor might not be so much of a spoiler of itself.
No. Well, we live in hope anyway.
Because I'm still waiting to see second to none before I talk about it.
Yeah.
I don't want to know what happened, okay? No one tell me what happened, please.
Okay, you've just set yourself up for a fall there.
It's okay.
So, yes, we've got we haven't talked about the Full Impact Pro yet, have we?
No, that's on this weekend as well. Friday and Saturday, I believe.
Yeah, I posted an event up on my page. Which one is it? No, I've completely...
Which one are we talking about? You got Established Dominance on the Friday, and then you've got Accelerate on the Saturday.
Accelerate, that's the one I'm thinking of. Have you seen the card for that?
Yes. Well, if Beretta's still champion, that would be a good match. Beretta versus Roderick Strong.
Oh, I haven't actually seen the card. I was just wondering if...
Ooh, yeah. Beretta versus Roderick Strong. But first, on the Friday, he's got to face the winner of this six-way freestyle elimination match, which has got Blake Edward, Belikas, John Skylar, Trevor Lee, Tim Donst, Jason Cade, and Aaron Solo. And whoever wins that faces him later in the night.
So who's your pick for that?
What, to win that?
The six-way.
Oh no, it's kind of could go anyway, really. It's sort of like the FPW tag team it could go anywhere. I still think at the end of the night, Beretta's going to be the champion. But
Yeah, and
plus, I really want to see Beretta versus Roderick Strong.
so have they ever faced off before, or was that the first time ever?
They might have, but I haven't seen it. They were supposed to face each other a while back, but then Roderick Strong had the neck injury with... Oh no, that was... that was with Johnny Gargano. We were supposed to face Johnny Gargano, but he had that mishap with the Styles Clash.
Yes.
So he couldn't face Johnny Gargano, but they later faced off as well, I believe. And of course you got the Shine Championship there now as well. Ivor Lee's versus Thea Yim. That would be a great match.
I've just literally seen that. I was just going to bring that up actually, because Eva Lisa's held the title for quite a while now, hasn't she?
Well, 2 months, 3 months, 2 or 3 months.
Oh, I thought it was. I thought it was
I think
longer.
you're thinking of cheerleader Melissa.
Yes. That is correct. But Eva Lisa's just defended it against Sweet Soraya, who is the mother of Paige.
And also a damn good wrestler herself.
Yes, she is. Veteran of the business. And
Although I watched that match, it was a good match, but it was a bit short for my liking. It was only about 10 minutes, I think, or 11 maybe.
just to get you, just to get the interest, and then like tease it a little bit. I mean,
Well, at the
maybe
moment-
they're setting up for another match.
Well, at the moment you've got this whole thing with Eva Lee's and the Valkyries, because she used to be the member, and then she faced off with the old leader, and then she beat Reign for the Shine Championship, and then the Valkyries turned their back on Eva Lee's with Serena Deeb, who used to be
She was part of the Straight Edge Society, wasn't
yeah, she was the bald-headed one.
she? And then they basically released her.
Even though she's a good wrestler too. And other birds than WWE dropped the ball with.
See, that could be another subject for another show. Talents that WWE and TNA have dropped the ball on.
We'll put it next Wednesday. That'll be this Wednesday was our who has WWE dropped the ball with Japanese wise. Next week we'll just do it. Who has WWE dropped the ball with?
Yeah.
Now really.
I mean, with the NXT releases, that could be an interesting subject.
Yep. So we've got our question for next week. So think hard, Ross.
Oh well, and so that is pretty much. Is that the end of the show?
That is the end of the show.